Greetings, my listeners. I was meditating last night. Something came to my mind. I was really having a deep thought on something. And what is that? I was saying, what is the greatest thing that makes the world look so bad? What is the greatest thing that makes the world look so bad? And I said, is hurt. To hurt. H-U-R-T. And I thought again, what is going to be the greatest thing that can happen in our world, and it will be a beautiful world? And I said, is forgiveness. So my thought today is going to be on hurt and forgiveness. Why do people hurt each other? Why do we hurt other people? What has hurt done to our society? A lot of people are hurt each day. A lot of relationships are hurt. A lot of disunity, a lot of violence, a lot of disagreement between brothers, between sisters, between people who are in relationship, in marriages, in communities. Hurt. Sometimes we don't understand what we do when we hurt each other. People actually get depressed from hurt. People actually get secluded from hurt. People actually go inside their shell because of hurt. People actually miss their potentials, miss a lot of targets, miss a lot of positivity because of hurt. But each day we experience hurt. Each day people cause each other hurt. And there is something, a practical, I thought about. I said, let me use this thing to describe when people are hurt. Let's see, this bottle is a human being, and I have liquid inside this bottle. And this liquid inside this bottle, we could see it as the total of human nature, the total of our being. Everything is inside here, but the positive, the weaknesses, the strength, and everything is inside here. When people are hurt, when you hurt people, people are like this bottle, and when they feel hurt, imagine what our hurt does to human beings. We are broken. We are mashed up. Look at this bottle. It's gone. This is how people feel. Imagine the liquid. Imagine the positives. Imagine everything. The strength is gone. That is how we feel when we are hurt. We are broken. We are no longer ourselves. That is what hurt does to human nature. And we change from who we used to be to another thing. This is what we cause each other every day of our life, in our communities, in our lives, in our marriages, in our relationship, in our society. This is how people feel. When we hurt each other, we actually break them. We actually suppress them. And we hurt people by controlling. We hurt people by not seeing the positive they are made of. Like my last video, I was saying about what makes a bad relationship. And I said misunderstanding, miscommunication. When we misunderstand each other, we need to have patience to one another in order to understand each other. When we don't understand each other, we hurt them and we break them. When we don't communicate well or receive better communication, positive communication, higher communication, clear communication, we hurt each other. So we should always be able to communicate and receive the accurate and proper communication from one another. When we don't do it, we hurt each other. And we mash up people, we destroy people, we destroy their life, we destroy their emotions, we destroy their social activities, their spiritual life. This is what hurt causes. And what do we do in order to stop hurting each other? First of all, we need to think about another. We see ourselves inside one another. We see Christ inside one another. And we say, this person is made in the image and likeness of God. This person is another version of me. Why do I have to hurt this person? I have to see the positive in this person. I have to see the goodness in this person. I have to see his weaknesses or her weaknesses as a way that this is how he is made, this is how she is made. Actually, I can use what I have to uplift him, to uplift her, so that she can or he can live a better life. We hurt each other by thinking that everybody is going to be like us, by thinking that everybody is going to behave like us. When a particular people, when our spouse, when our friends don't behave like us, we force them to behave like us. And when we do that and they resist, we hurt them. We hate them. We put all kind of stumbling blocks against them. We deprive from them the goodness God has given to us to give to them, and they go back in their shade, and they break just like this bottle. So there is something very important we need to do when we hurt each other and when we have to forgive each other. You that is hurt, you need to forgive. If you don't forgive, you actually hurt yourself. There is a misunderstanding about forgiveness. One, forgiveness doesn't mean you are pardoning or excusing the other person's action. Sometimes when we think that when we have to forgive, we are pardoning another person, that we are excusing their actions, that we are better persons. No, that's not forgiveness. Secondly, forgiveness doesn't mean you need to tell the person that he or she is forgiven. You can say that I have forgiven you, but you actually don't need to do that. You have to, first of all, think about the situation. What has happened? How has it affected you? How has it affected the other person? And you say, you make a resolution within yourself that I am going to forgive him. That's the first step. I am going to forgive myself. I am going to forgive him. Thirdly, forgiveness doesn't mean you shouldn't have any more feeling about this situation. In psychology, we say with suppression. If you do that, you suppress it. And when you suppress it, and such a thing comes again, and you bounce back like a lion. So forgiveness doesn't mean that such a thing is not going to, you are not going to feel it again. You are going to feel it again. But you have to detach yourself from such situations. So forgiveness doesn't mean there is nothing further to work out in the relationship or that everything is okay. Everything is not okay. It's a journey. Forgiveness is a journey, because as you forgive, such occurrences may happen again and you still have to forgive. Forgiveness doesn't mean you should forget the incident that has ever happened. You may not be able to forget about the incident, but you can remember the incident, knowing that you have dealt with it. And when that incident comes again, you will be able to manage it because you have processed it. And forgiveness isn't that you do not do that to other people again. You can actually, but what happens when you think you have done wrong? You ask for forgiveness. You forgive one another. So how do we forgive? How do we forgive? Think about the incident that angered the other person. Think about what you did. Think about what was done to you, and you got to process it. And acknowledge the growth you experienced as a result of what happened. In every situation, you have to acknowledge that you have to grow from it. You have to learn something from what has happened. And finally, decide whether or not you want to tell the person that you have forgiven him. If you decide to tell the person, you have to know the appropriate time, appropriate word, appropriate environment to say, this thing you did to me, you actually hurt me, and I am forgiving you. And let me take you to the Word of God. In Matthew chapter 6, it talks about forgiveness. Matthew chapter 11, it talks about forgiveness. Matthew chapter 18, it talks about forgiveness. In Luke chapter 6, it talks about forgiveness. In Luke chapter 17, it talks about forgiveness. In Colossians chapter 4, it talks about forgiveness. God encourages us to forgive, because when we forgive, we relieve ourselves from that burden. When we forgive, we see Christ in another person. Imagine we just celebrated the Easter. Christ went on the cross and he died for us. So we do it for the love we have for Christ. We do it for the love we have for each other. And not just that person. When we forgive, we actually save ourselves from eternal death. There is a Chinese adage that says, when we hold grudges, we are actually digging two graves, one for your enemy and one for yourself. Forgive today so that you will be a free person. God bless you.